Hey now, today we're going to take a look at Cat Tower, which is absolutely one of the most unique games that I've played this year. And of course, as you can see, it barely looks like it is a game, but I assure you that it is. The theme of this game is that you're trying to stack up cats. The end. I mean, no, that's the theme. It does not really explain why. I guess they're trying to get to fish or a pie or something that's on a windowsill, but you're stacking all of these cats up. And mechanically speaking, that's literally what you're doing. You have cards that you fold into threes and stack them up, representing the cats, and you're trying to be the first one to go out. But you're also rolling a die to see how you're going to do that. Are you putting down one? Are you putting down two? Are you making someone else stack it for you? Because if you're the one that drops the tower of cats, you're going to take a penalty and have to take some cards. And there's some other, there's not a lot to this game, but there's some other little aspects as well, in the form of tokens, which might have other effects. And it's a very simple game. I would say that it mixes Jenga with Uno, which is probably going to make some of you run screaming away from it. But hang in there. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it's played. Then we're going to come back and I'll give you my final opinion. Okay, I'm going to give you a very brief overview of Cat Tower. This is a competitive game for 2 to 6 players where the goal is to run out of cat cards in your hand. Every player starts with 7. The first player to run out of their cards is going to be the winner. How exactly is this going to happen? You're going to make a tower of cats. I mean, that's the name of the game. Of course you're going to do that. So you have your stack of cat cards here, and these cards are interesting because they all fold. They all have scoring on them, so that scoring being a printing term, not scoring as in points. And they fold like this, like little arches, and they all have pictures of cats on the other side. But now, even though all the pictures are different and you have different colors of cats, unless you're playing some kind of variant, they don't really matter. They're just different colors in order for them to look cooler when you stack them up, but they're all essentially the same. No other kind of game effect. You also have fatty catty cards, which are not to be folded, so make sure that your players are aware of that before they start to fold them. They don't have scoring. I'll explain what they do in a minute. You have a bunch of tabby tokens here. You have the wooden die, which has different faces, which I'll explain in a minute. And you have the box to the game, which the rules insist you must pop out like this with the little legs so that they're a cat head looking menacingly over the play area. It's in the rules, you have to do it. Anyways, so on your turn, you'll have your hand of 7 cards, and the first thing you're going to do is roll the die. You roll the die, see what comes up, and you have to take that action. So let's look at the different faces of the die. There's 5 different actions possible on the dice. First, this is a single cat. What this means is that you have to take 1 cat from your hand and place it, stack it in the play area, fold it and stack it. Now, in everything except for a 6-player game, you'll actually start with a cat up there. So your first game will be a little slow because you'll have to actually fold the cards for the first time, which might take a minute to get a good fold on them, but they should look like a pretty decent arch, so you have to fold them kind of hard. Then you'll just set it out there, okay? And if this one is telling you to put out another card, you'll take a card from your hand. I'm just using the deck in this instance, and you will stack it, and you're supposed to alternate the way they stack. So if one of them is going this way, I'd have to put the other one to make sort of a cross shape. All right, and this is kind of like Jenga rules in that as you start to stack up cards, if you cause a tower to fall over, like I kind of just did. See, this is why it's really important to fold the cards pretty good. If you cause the tower to fall over, all those cards are out of the game, and you have to take a penalty of taking 2 of those cards that fell over back into your hand, and an extra card if you make a tabby token fall off, which I'll get to in a second. So that's the one face of the die. That one's going to let you put 1 card out on the stack. There's another face for that, but there's also the 2-cat stack, which is going to let you just put 2 cats, one on top of the other, onto the stack as well. Then you have the cat paws. This is where you're going to choose another player at the table, and they have to take a card from your hands and stack it onto the tower, which is important because that means you're getting a card out of your hand, and it may penalize the other player who might make the tower fall over. Then you have the dried fish, which is the same as putting 1 cat from your hand onto the stack, but you must put the cat upside down. So I would have to do it like this, still following the alternating rules and putting it up like that. And then the last face on the die is the fatty catty, With the Fatty Caddy, you're going to take one of the 2 Fatty Caddy cards, and again, they're identical. It doesn't matter which one you choose. And you have to lay it on top of the tower, however it happens to be, still trying to not make it fall over. Do it like that, then you're going to take one of the Tabby tokens and flip it face up and put it there in the center of the card, and then take whatever the action is. So let's look at what the different tokens do, most of which are very similar to the actions of the dice. You have this token here, which is, I'm sorry, it's actually, this might affect the player to your left. So this token, you collect all the cat cards from all players and redistribute them evenly as possible. This is another Caddy Fatty. The next player stacks 1 Caddy Fatty card onto the cat and flips another token, just as if you had rolled that on the dice, and then that ends their turn. So basically, you're making other players take a certain action on their turn. The cat belly. The next player must stack a cat card upside down to the cat tower, and that ends their turn. This one will reverse the playing order. This one is going to, the next player must assign one of her fellow players to stack a cat card from their hand, which unfortunately might be you, the player that flipped this token over. And this is the infamous and dreaded skip turn, which I hate. One of my worst mechanics I totally hate in games, but nevertheless, there it is. So that's all the different faces of the die. That's what all the tokens do. And that's really the game. It's as simple as that. You're going to keep going around trying to be the first one to run out of the cards. A lot of it has to do with how well you can Jenga and trying to keep the tower from falling over. Should I see how far I can go with this? The rules are very loose as to what constitutes the tower still being built, as long as it doesn't fall over. Like technically this one's about to fall kind of halfway off the card, but there you go. I've already had to take a penalty. And I knocked over one of the tokens, so I have to take an extra card as well. Obviously, I'm not very good at this, but that is Cat Tower. Let's get to my final thoughts. I can't say that Cat Tower has like a fantastic theme, but it's a very cool, unique, and fun idea. And it just looks so much fun when you walk by and see it. This tower of cats in the box sitting right there that you like pull out to have it be like a sitting half cat head or something, together with the cool wooden die that you're rolling and the Fatty Tabby cards or the Fatty Caddy cards. It just looks great on the table, and it is such a unique and cool idea. Mechanically, no one is going to accuse this game of being like smart and strategic. That's not what this is about. And if you go into that thinking that, you're going to be sorely disappointed. This is a very simple game. I don't know that it's really intended for children, but I think that children would get the most fun and enjoyment out of it because there is enough here to keep them hooked and engaged. It's not totally random nonsense, but at the same time, it's random nonsense. But that's fine. I had a lot of fun playing this. I did, and almost against my own will, I had fun playing it, knowing that it was kind of a dumb thing, but knowing as well that it is funny to see someone stack up cards and see them pull off. It is the Jenga effect, right? I mean, that's why you play Jenga. Jenga is kind of a dumb game, and it's way more aggravating to set up than Cat Tower is, and to take down and put away. But the fun of Jenga is seeing someone either totally screw up and knock over the tower, or seeing like the tower in an incredibly precarious position, and someone just makes that awesome move. Right? And they make it and they pull it off. And then all of a sudden it's your turn and you're like, what? I'm not going to be able to do that. Look at this thing. That kind of happens in Cat Tower on a smaller scale, but I think on a more fun and faster scale. And you have a little tiny extra bit of depth with that die and how that comes out, and having other players potentially put out the card for you, which is a neat thing. In the Fatty Caddy cards, which are fine. I mean, they add more effects. There is the skip turn, which I hate. I hate the skip turn mechanic in any game. I think it should be banned and outlawed. But other than that, it's simple fun. You're up and running in just a couple of minutes. Everyone gets it. People can just hop in and start playing. It works. It works. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It's not too long. There's going to be people that just hate it because of what it is and the type of game that it is. But if you have the right crowd, if you're either very young or very drunk, this game would be amazing. As it is, if you're just coming to the table perfectly uninebriated and being an adult, if you have an open mind, I think you can have a lot of fun with it. It's not like a very complex game. It's, you know, you're not going to be able to play it multiple times in a row because it'll probably have enough of it for one evening after one time. But then again, chances are other people might see you play it and be like, can we play next? Because that seemed kind of fun. That's what this game kind of elicits. So I think it's fun. I think it's very cute. I like the idea of it, and it definitely kills, not that I ever really wanted to play Jenga again anyways, but definitely kills any desire I would have to play that again. That is Cat Tower, a very fun and interesting game. My name is Nick. This has been Board Game Brawl, and I'm reminding you to get out there and game every day in every way. Take care.